Hey guys, so today I just kind of decided to do a little informative video on FIDM. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what FIDM stands for, it stands for the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. Now, despite the name, FIDM is a lot more than just a fashion school. They teach the beauty industry. It's called Beauty Industry Merchandising and Marketing. I have it like on the side thing. And it also teaches like film and TV costume design, footwear design, graphic design, interior design, visual communications, of course, fashion design, fashion knitwear. Um, and I kind of just wanted to do like a pros and cons video only because I do go there. So I think it kind of gives other people that are considering going to that school like a better view of just kind of how the school runs. Now, I do also want to say like the pros and cons because the school is really good, but I also kind of want to say like a little bit of like not the bad things, but just really like just give you guys like the real behind the scenes look at going to one of those schools. Now, okay, the pros of course are especially if you're a fashion design major, FIDM looks really, really good on your resume only because it's really well known in the fashion industry. Of course, if you go somewhere, FIDM is really well known, even though there's only campuses in California, it is still really well known everywhere. It's just as good as Parsons, of course. I don't know about Parsons, so um, it is one of the best schools on the West Coast, I think, and I think it's a little bit more recognized than some of the art institutes. And so it's a good school for that. But another thing too, that is really good about FIDM is that they're really like up to date with the technology and what they're teaching students. Like they're literally teaching you like what's going on now. And so it's really good because, like you're really like using like the latest technology. We use like the Gerber program, which is kind of like to make patterns like for garments. You kind of make garments, the patterns for them on the computer. So you learn how to do that. They also teach you how to use Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop for, like for us, it's for fashion design, of course, like to draw the garments on the Illustrator and also how to like color them, refine them, and add like all these little special touches on Photoshop. They also teach you, of course, how to sketch for me because, I'm a fashion design major. So they teach you how to sketch, how to sew, and you have all these classes that really most of them are just focused on your major. You don't really have too much of like general studies classes, which is really good because you have like your basic math and your basic English and speech classes, but it's not really all that much. Most of the time, like the school is split into semesters. So, well, it's not semesters, it's kind of like little mini semesters, that's what I call them, because even though colleges are 6 months, FIDM actually splits them into 3 months. So you go to school for kind of like 2.5 weeks, 2.5 months, and then you get like 2.5 weeks off, and then 2.5 months, and like that. And that's actually, it sounds really fun and really good, but you have no idea like how much you really need the break because FIDM really is a lot of work. And I think a lot of people sometimes when they know that I'm like stressing out or something about school, they say, "Oh, please, like it's an art school, whatever. How much can it be?" But like really, like I think it's hard for every major, especially for fashion design students, because it is one of like the toughest majors there at the school, and it's also like the most popular major. But a lot of people actually end up changing their minds once they go into fashion design, only because it really is a lot of work. So the pros from that school, of course, I've already mentioned that you're up to date with the technology. It's really well known, even like for other majors like visual communications, footwear design, graphic design. Like the school is still very well known, so it's really good for that. But the only like one of the really like main bad things is the tuition. Now for my major alone, it's like 28,000 plus for 1 year. I'm in the 2 year program in which you only get the AA degree, which I mean for me it was good enough because I'm planning on going for a business degree after. Not at FITM though, only because it is expensive and also because there's another school that is less pricey and it's really really recognized around the school. I mean around the United States because of its business program. So that's what I'm gonna do afterwards. But other than the tuition, another bad thing can sometimes be transportation, only because there's 4 campuses in California, but only 2 of them you can finish the rest of your like degree. But what I mean by that is like, okay, they have a campus in Orange County, San Francisco, San Diego, and LA. But the only 2 campuses that you can actually complete, that they offer the classes to complete your major is in LA or in San Francisco. So you can only finish in one of them. So it's really bad for all the people that live like not in between, but like if you live like really up north or really like down south, like you don't really have that many options. So a lot of people really have to either commute there or they have to move there. And a lot of people that sometimes will stop them from going there besides the tuition because it really is expensive. Like no joke, like it really just is expensive. But it's also like I don't know, I guess in a way, like a lot of people that really do have the resources, they end up moving there, they get a roommate. But some people, FIDM does offer housing, by the way, before I forget, they do offer housing, but it's kind of cheaper if you just find an apartment on your own. One of my friends is doing that. She decided to, instead of going with the FIDM housing, she got an apartment on her own and she's paying like 600 for rent. And now I know 600 might be a lot for some of you guys, but like, well, for her, I mean, her parents are helping her out to pay the rent, so she doesn't have to have a job, which is really good. But at the same time, like, it kind of varies per case. Me, I didn't move there only because like I can commute from where I live. There's like a train that makes it kind of easy for me, so it's just kind of like it works that way. But still, I mean, having to like all this transportation that kind of takes a while. Like, kind of like it just gets kind of tedious after a while. But I do love what I'm doing. I love that I'm studying fashion design. I probably wouldn't change it. I don't think I would not go to that school. But I think now, like, I've actually been doing research on some community colleges to see what they offer as far as like fashion design goes. And some other schools actually offer like sketching and how to like teach you how to do patterns and all this stuff. Of course, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, you're getting it cheaper, but at the same time, it's like that level of which one looks better on your resume. But I think, if you have a passion, you should go for it, like no matter where you're going, if you're going to FITM or if you're going somewhere else. Like I totally think that you should go and you shouldn't just let, how one school looks besides the other because even a lot of fashion designers that are out there, like they don't even know how to sketch, how to sew, and it doesn't stop them. They're really, really rich right now and that has never stopped them. So I think, you should still totally go for it. But let's see, another con that I was gonna say was oh, well, every major I think takes a lot of, it's very time consuming. Especially, like I said, fashion design. Like, I know maybe if somebody's out there that you guys are different majors, you're probably like, oh, please, ours are a lot of work too. And I'm sure, but I mean, FITM acknowledges the fact that fashion design is one of like the hardest majors. And a lot of people that start with fashion design, they actually end up changing their mind and going somewhere else only because it's a lot of work or because sometimes it's not what they think that it is. Like they get there and they're like, whoa, what is this? And so they just end up changing their mind. One of my friends did that. She started fashion design with me, but then she just she decided that graphic design was a lot better of what like she liked. She didn't really like sewing, and I don't really like sewing, and I'm a fashion design major. I don't know. It's a lot of work. So that's pretty much for that. And well, another thing too is that because it is time consuming, like your social life is kind of like it kind of goes like it depends because sometimes like you really have to just put friends aside to focus on your work. And so sometimes some of your friends get their feelings hurt or actually a lot of girls that I know they ended up breaking up with their boyfriends. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying like a lot of girls like a lot of guys. Some of them were either not going to college or going to a different college, so they don't understand how much work it is. And so some of them are not like understanding that they can't spend as much time with them because of them. But I mean, I've been with my boyfriend since before I started with him, and I'm still with him, and I'm almost done. So I think if a guy really cares about you, like I don't think school should be an issue. Like I think they should be, if anything, supportive and understanding. But it's just kind of like my take on that. Like I'm just saying, like for me, I just think that it shouldn't be an excuse because they can't, spend time with you or anything. But yeah, so that's pretty much just like pros and cons, I guess. Again, like I said, if you really are considering going to FITM, I really recommend for you to go on the website. It's www.fidm.edu. And on that website, like you're literally gonna find everything. Of course, when you go there, they're really like I think once you go to the school, like that's when you decide like, bam, I want to come here. Only because like you see all the work and it really is like a great school. It is honestly like it's very artistic. It's very but it really is a lot of work. So just also keep that in mind. Don't think that it's just let me just go and chill. It's an artistic school says not a lot of work, it really is a lot of work. So just keep that in mind. They do tell you guys, by the way, when you get admitted, they do tell you guys like what, like about how many hours of homework you can expect depending on your major. And me, I remember when they told me it was like going to be like 40, 45 hours, I was like, oh yeah, right, whatever. It actually really is a lot of work. And so that's why when we get these little 2.5 weeks breaks, like the one that I'm in right now, I feel like so happy and so relaxed because you're just like focus, 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 focus the whole time that you're going to school. And so when you get out, you're kind of like, and a lot of people when you tell them like, oh, what are you gonna do for your break? Instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna go out there, they say sleep because that's another thing too. I can't even tell you guys. Like, it's so funny how everybody, like, especially around finals, we all look like zombies. Like, everybody's just like coffee. Our eyes are like up to here, literally, and we're just so exhausted. Like, the girls from going in like heels in the beginning of quarter, they're like in sweats and flaps because it really is just such pain. But it's a good school. Okay, I don't want to like discourage anybody, but just know that make sure that your passion is really, really strong because that's probably one of the first things that's going to get tested. And the last thing that you want to do is pay money to go to that school and have everything, all your paperwork done, and then realize like it's too much work and you don't want, or your passion isn't as strong as you thought it was. So just really consider that. Don't just be wowed by everything. That's like one of my like most important advices. Like think it through first. It is a lot of money. Some people also had to drop out because of the amount of money that it was. They couldn't pay for it. But if you are in high school right now and you're considering going, like really try to have really good grades so that you can get maybe like grants and stuff so that it can help you. But just keep that in mind, your passion, think about it first, review it a lot. Go on the website. Seriously, like just go on the website. And if you also have any other questions, like you want me to go into anything like a lot more specific into this, like I totally will. I do have some other friends in other majors, so maybe I can ask them any of their specific questions to ask them like their whole like little behind the scenes look. Since me, I can only really help anybody that's for like fashion design. So yeah, like I said, just go on the website, check out. You can see the tuition, you can see it names the classes that you're gonna get. Of course, it doesn't even come close. Like you kind of read it and you're kind of like, wait, what does that mean? So I could help you guys with some of that if you guys want, but this is just kind of to tell you guys like a little behind the scenes look. And yeah, just keep that in mind. Go online, go on the website, and if you have questions, just comment below or send me a quick message, and I will totally answer right back to you guys. Okay, so I hope you guys liked the video and stay informed. Bye.